Now, you're a product designer. Is that correct?
Yeah, yes, correct.
Good.
For
Otherwise, I'd have to like rip up this entire section and start again. So I'm glad
yeah,
you're a product designer.
yeah. I was doing product designing in Mexico. I haven't done that in Australia, but as a part of my degree, I always think like to design everything on computer first before I execute an idea, because for me it's like something more visual, and it also explains to everyone what the idea is instead of just going to them and explaining something very technical, so you don't know if they're going to understand or not. But yeah, product designing, I was doing that back in Mexico for pretty much more than 8 years. So I was working for CTEC and FCAD connectors. And obviously, in my company, I was doing some product designing, which, like, as I mentioned before, I was customizing all these scoreboards for each customer. So I needed to give them ideas like on these 3D models all the time. So that was like more graphic and
So to
more,
begin with, designing itself, right? So the first step is designing. What does that look like? What do you do? Does someone come to you and say, Daniel, I need something, and you go, okay. Do you ask them a series of questions and draw something? Like, what is this?
yeah, it's always the same. Like, just someone like randomly can come to me and say, you know, I have this process and I want to improve it, to do it with robots, or I want to just change little part of this machine. And then all my logic process is like, okay, what do you need? What do you want to use on this machinery? Or even what's the purpose of this device that you want? So it's like I kind of do my research with them, and then I start doing my research on internet. But it's just like randomly, people always ask me to like to design something, because as I say, it's just more visual. So for them, I guess it's more helpful when they have an actual image of what they want. So for me, designing was like drawing, or even just starting from this 3D model in computer.
So this would be
Because
using CAD, right?
yeah, the CAD. Yeah.
Right. So once you've
Yeah,
designed it, what happens next? Like you've designed it, and let's say you show it to me. I go, oh, that's cool. And you know, it's all 3D. So you move it around. I go, oh, that looks great. This looks great. I'm happy with it. What happens next?
Yeah, well, the process, I think for me, it's just like, first I go for the kind of the chassis, because in my logic is, okay, let's just start from the outside and then just go to the internal components, which are just little ones. So my process, the process of design is like, once I have my 3D model, I start doing more research, like, okay, is your device just gonna have some electronics inside, or it's gonna be just mechanics, or what? That's why I do my research with the people, and I start asking a lot of questions. So once I get the design, and they say like, okay, it's gonna involve electronics, so I go to this like softwares to design the boards, like the electronic boards, and then I make my like all the diagrams with the circuits, and then all the coding. Then obviously I manufacture the board, like the circuit board. Then I guess like the next step is just like building the chassis, putting it all together, and then it's just done. Start like doing tests. Yeah, I think that's just my logic from my designer experience.
Right. So once it's designed, once it's put together, then it's a matter of testing it. if it passes test, then you would say now it's ready for mass manufacturing, or it's ready for basically replicas, more to be made, I'm assuming.
Well, once it's like, I always been thinking like once your design is done and like physical, and if it's working well, you start doing some more research to see, like in this case, the user experience, and see what is needed to change. So you need to do your own research to know if the product is gonna be able to do the job, or if it's like even affordable too. Like if it's not gonna be too expensive to make, or yeah, there's a lot of things to consider. And this, I would say, first the user experience.
Okay, that's interesting, because wherever I've done research about this and looked into it, it seems like product designers are on one side and user experience people or UX designers are on the other side.
Mhm.
Are they the same, or do that need to work together to make like the ultimate product?
Well, the product designer, he works this role works with the user experience designer, because it's part of the designing, but it's like different. Well, it can be one single person, but it's like separately, because the user experience involves doing all the research once the product is done, you know. In terms of like UI, this is just more from computers, like the interface, which is also for electronics, because you can make a device that has like a, I don't know, a screen, and you can have like little buttons in the screen. You can make it touch. So that's the UI, but this is still like product designer. That person works together with UI and UX.
Interesting, interesting. And the three of them together make the most perfect product possible.
Yeah, they just make it like, I can say, functional, and yeah, just functional. You know.
Okay, cool.